Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. The first topic that we are going to discuss about the quarter investment at all-time high of 14.6 lakh crore. So the India's investment narrative closed last year with a bang, as the January to March quarter recorded the highest ever total fresh investment of 14.6 lakh crore led by the private sector. So the hit an all-time high of 10.5 lakh crore. So we need to understand here how this investment become great opportunity here in India. The private sector is playing a key role in terms of investing money in our country. So the impact on popular themes and the sectors after the union budget is a reason. The tax relief given for the India's middle class, it is one of the key component here. And the investment, if you see, clean and renewable energy, infrastructure development, digital India, agriculture, housing and urban development, manufacturing, railways, defense, and biggest companies of India. In all these regions that India is focusing on the capital investment as well. That's the reason there is a hike in terms of investing the money. As per this particular article, they are talking about monitoring the project firms today related to the investment announcement since the year of 2000. This particular article is completely giving you the data related to the investment from 2000. So here major area to be focused is related to the manufacturing sector, because if you see in the budget as well, there was a considerable boost for the manufacturing sector, extending the reduction customs duty on certain inputs parts of the additional year to spur local investments. As a result of the government initiatives such as paced manufacturing program, mobile phone production in India has skyrocketed from 18,900 crore in the year of 2014 to 15 to 2,75,000 crore in the past fiscal. So to encourage the domestic manufacture, the basic customs duty exemption for a number of components was extended until March 2024. So this particular topic comes under your General Studies 3, Indian Economy, Inclusive Growth. Let us have a look of next important topic of the day related to demand for same-sex marriages recognition is urban elitist. That view. So this particular statement was given by the central government. So we need to understand, because already we discussed regarding this particular topic, and the Supreme Court set up a constitution bench to look into the same-sex marriage issue. The center told the Supreme Court that the demand for legal recognition of same-sex marriages merely a voicing of urban elitist views for the purpose of social acceptance. This particular statement given by the central government to the Supreme Court related to the particular issue. As I mentioned you regarding this particular same-sex marriage, the center has opposed this in the Supreme Court as well, because they are come up with a statement that marriage between a biological man and woman is a holy union. It's a sacrament and a sanskar in India. So we need to understand some kind of provisions. What are the arguments and also some provisions? Remember, this provision of the same-sex marriage is a issue now. 2018 judgment in Navdeep Singh Johar versus Union of India and not legalized. The court, while decriminalizing homosexuality, did not accept same-sex marriage as a part of the fundamental rights to life and dignity under Article 21 of the Constitution. So this particular issue again went to the parliament. Parliament has designed and framed marriage laws in the country to recognize only the union of man and a woman. So this particular article, which stating about the different kind of marriage is socially and religiously acceptable or not. So there is an affidavit filled by the center regarding the urban elitist view. Just go through this topic and read some kind of argument regarding in favor of same-sex marriage and what are all the arguments against the same-sex marriage. This particular topic comes under your GS2 policy and interventions and GS1 Indian society related to the gender. Next, let us see the important topic of the day. We'll move towards the next page. So based on the topic, let us have a look. So next important topic that we can directly go to the editorial page. The topic is stating about the promoting impunity. Denial of no to prosecute army man in voting massacre is disconcerting. Okay, denying sanction to the Nagaland police to prosecute 30 army men for the December 2021 killing of 13 civilians in the watchdog. The Union government has sent out disconcreting message that is unable or unwilling to do anything about impunity in insurgency hit states. This particular article is stating about your internal security related to the insurgency that is happening in the northeast states. So what exactly the prosecution is about and about AFSPA, Armed Force Special Forces Act. So this particular article is giving you detail in regarding of this AFSPA and what exactly happening in the northeast states. So your area of focus on this particular topic, you need to know about this Armed Forces Special Forces Act. Next article, it is about Chinese shenanigans on Arunachal Pradesh. This article already we discussed under the occupying of some parts of Arunachal Pradesh by the Chinese. A culture of cohesion to save young lives on campuses. So read this particular article related to the campuses, how these impersonal spaces are giving in the big institution in India based on the counseling services. So here they are talking about the national institutions and how the formal mechanisms are placed in terms of providing the counseling to the people whoever want to take a admission. Just go through this topic as well. Next important topic that where we can give focus is the petitions around same-sex marriage. While a five-judge Supreme Court bench is set to hear a series of petitions on legal rights to same-sex unions. So what are the affidavits and applications have been received from organizations across the religious, social and political lines on the particular issue? So all those together, we need to focus here on what basis, because see, this particular issue, as per this article, after this article reading, I want to convey you here is about cultural sensitivity. India is a culturally diverse country with different religious and societal values. Any legislative or judicial decision on same sex marriage must consider the cultural sensitivities of different communities as well, while ensuring that the fundamental rights of the individuals are protected. That is the first important point that we need to focus. Second one is about social acceptance and education. What is social acceptance and education? India still has a long way to go in terms of social acceptance of the LGBTQ community. So education and awareness campaign should be developed and promote the acceptance and understanding of heterosexuality. Then same-sex marriage should be considerable on table. Then international obligations. India is the signatory to various international human rights treaties and conventions which require it to protect the rights of all individuals that included the LGBTQ community. As many other countries such as Canada, the United States of America, and Australia have recognized same sex marriage. It is imperative that India legalizes is to ensure equal rights and opportunities for all individuals regardless of their sexual orientation. So based on this particular article, you need to understand what are all the areas to be focused in terms of giving legalization for the same-sex marriage in India. Just read this article and keep all the points that we discussed in your mind so that it helps you in terms of do analysis. Let us move to the next topic. The next topic is regarding the Russia seeks to right huge trade imbalance. The country wants to import manufacturing equipment, including machinery from India, to replace the West. So remember, acknowledging that a significant imbalance in trade heavily in favor of Russia needs addressing in the rupee ruble trade. So there was a visit by the Russian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Trade to India, and they start talking about machineries in terms of manufacturing equipment from India to replace the West. So what exactly the concept here? The concept here related to the Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, where they can accompanied by the high power delegation. So the Russian deputy PM further not gaining about 100 percentage autonomy, and that is impossible in terms of investments in particularly the manufacturing equipment. The problem here, the seeking balance in terms of payment is one of the issue. Lack of imports from India, it's not enough to use rupees, so that they are interested in terms of increasing the Indian imports so that it is balanced approach, so we can do the proper trade imbalance, proper trade activities. So this is topic comes under your general studies 2. The subtopic is international relations. India to host summit on Buddhism. This topic comes under your GS1 Indian history, art and culture. India is going to host international summit on Buddhism on April 20th and April 21st. So more number of delegates going to visit and participate in the notable exception from the country China. Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, is also unlikely to attend the two-day conclave. Remember, this host summit on Buddhism gives more value added to the development of tourism as well. Because if you take the Buddhism religious become more popular here in India. It got originated in Nepal, but all the major events of the life of Buddha happened here in India only. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi already come up with the circuit, Buddhism circuit, to promote the tourism visit here in India from the different South Asian countries. So the conference of this particular meeting responses to the contemporary challenges from the philosophy to praxis. Remember, the philosophy of this Buddhism is more popular from the ancient times. That's the reason behind it has the roots to the different states in the world. So the discussion will be under four important themes, that is Buddha, Dhamma and peace. Dhamma policies, it is the policy given by Buddha to the people to overcome the problem that they are facing in their life. Then the second concept is about Buddha Dhamma. Buddha Dhamma is regarding the instruction given by Lord Buddha to the people how they can live the Madhya Marga, middle path life. Environmental crisis, health and sustainability, preservation of Nalanda Buddhist tradition and Buddhist pilgrimage living heritage and relics. If you take India, it is giving more importance in terms of art and culture regarding the religious. Particularly Buddhist become a prominent in our country because the first ever residential universities in India was Nalanda. And that became the education center for the purpose of teaching Buddhism in the ancient times. And Buddhist pilgrimage, living heritage and relics. We do have stupas and multiple pilgrimage sites of the Buddhist which is attracting the tourist. So India is going to host this summit on Buddhism. It's going to be value added in terms of development of the tourism economy. Next particular topic of the day that we are going to discuss about Pittas find new heaven in Odisha district. In the first ever census carried out in Kendrapara and Jagdishanpur, around 179 of the nearly threatened birds were counted. So Pittas is a species found in this region. So on the first ever census of mangrove pitta bird carried out in two coastal districts of Odisha. So mangrove pitta birds are nearly threatened species found in a few pockets of eastern part of India, including Baitar Kanika in Odisha and Sundarbans in West Bengal. So the first census shows the mangrove pitta were focused on the mangrove patches. So this a total 179 individual mangrove pitta birds were encountered. The highest concentration of the bird has been found in the mangroves near the Mahipura river mouth inside the Bithar National Park. So Bithar National Park, which is located in the state of Odisha. So moving towards the next topic, we'll directly go to the business page. The topic is related to the March wholesale price rise slows to 1.34% on the base effect. So wholesale price inflation cools to slowest pace in more than 2 years. Just read this topic. This topic comes under your General Studies 3 Indian economy related to wholesale price inflation. One more important topics and last topic of the day. SpaceX postpones maiden test flight of world's biggest rocket Starship. SpaceX is very important for us to know more add-on information regarding the topic. So SpaceX, what is SpaceX? This particular SpaceX project become the first SpaceX become the first ever private company to launch people human space flight into orbit. A feat got achieved by the United States of America, Russia and China. Remember, the SpaceX postponed the first test flight of Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built, designed to send astronauts to the moon and Mars and beyond. So this particular SpaceX postponed the maiden test flight delay of 48 hours. So SpaceX say the launch will be delayed for at least 48 hours. The US space agency NASA has picked the Starship spacecraft to ferry astronauts to the moon in late 2025. There is project name called Artemis 3 for the first time since the Apollo program ended in 1978. So these are all the information that you need to gather regarding this particular article. So Starship first uncrewed flight test. So you need to understand that SpaceX is the private space exploration company founded by Elon Musk is set to launch its Starship rocket from its facility in South Texas. So the Starship rocket is most powerful rocket ever constructed, generating nearly 16.5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. The inaugural launch of the Starship rocket is scheduled to take place, but it got postponed now. So these are all the topics that you guys need to focus for the day. And stay tuned. Let us see tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.